Hey guys, how's it going today? So on today's episode of Tide Talks, we're going to talk about a couple of positions on set that you may or may not know. A lot of those positions that you see rolling in the rolling credits at the end of a film are very vital and important to any project. Alright, so let's get into one of the positions, number one, that I don't think a lot of people really think about in the whole spectrum of filmmaking. All right, number one, producer. So who is the producer? The producer, in layman's terms, is someone who has a monetary pull or a monetary responsibility to provide funds for the movie. A producer is someone who is normally funding the film, funding the movie, hoping to gain a profit. Okay, but at the end of the day, the producer is the one who can start or stop it because they are actually funding the film. All right, so the producer is very important. I'm not going to go too in depth into it, but I just think it's one of those positions that most people don't talk about. All right, let's go to the second position. All right, the el hombre uno, the number one position on set, the director. So what is a director? So Quentin Tarantino said he had a close friend of his who was a director, and he asked the director, what makes a good director? And the director said to him, see, I know you see all of the elements on film and you're thinking to yourself, it's a lot. And Quentin acknowledged, yes, it's a lot. I could never do that. The secret to being a director is you don't have to know every position. Your job is to take what's in your head and give it to the other positions in a flawless way so they can implement it and place it on screen. The director is the overall person in charge of the film. The director would get all the credit, or the director would get all the fault. At the end of the day, the director calls all the shots, excluding from the producer, to make a film happen or not happen. They have to be the guy, the leader, the first sergeant, the person driving the movie in the direction of the script. So director. All right, let's get to position number 3. All right, to me, crucial, vital position. The DP, the director of photography. Okay, what's the director of photography? A DP is someone who is responsible for whatever image that you see on the frame, on the screen, in the theater. They are responsible for the look and the feel of the film. So lens assignment, shutter speed, aperture, color charts, what type of lighting, mise en scène, everything in frame. All right. Yes, the director is overall in charge of that, but I'm talking about the look of the film is the DP's responsibility. For instance, who's seen The Matrix? When you look at The Matrix, it's kind of a green hue, a green tint, correct? Well, by direction of the director, the DP was responsible for making the film feel as if you are inside a computer program, okay? So they were responsible for everything, visual of the film. So the director of photography has a huge responsibility. They really do. So yeah, the DP. All right, let's get into position number 4. So the gaffer, in layman's terms, is the chief electrician on set. They're the person responsible for the lighting, guided by their boss, the DP, on how to implement certain lights, certain lighting, certain setups for the shot. All right, a DP and a gaffer works hand in hand. Okay, they're like connected, hip to hip. They are the two that ensure that the lighting and the visual aspect of what you see is working. All right, now if you want to do a little history, the original term of gaffer was based upon the overhead equipment that used to control the lighting setups, which was called a gaff. So yeah, the gaffer is very important, works hand in hand with the DP, chief electrician, knows ins and outs of voltage, lights, what type of lights, fluorescents, HMIs, all that good stuff. That's your gaffer. All right, let's get to the next position. So now we have first AD. Man, the first AD. You see, I served 12 years in the Army, and what I can tell you that the first AD is pretty much like the first sergeant of the set. You've seen those movies. You've seen, Full Metal Jacket. The guys yelling at people, hey, you need to do this, you need to be here, you need to do that. That's pretty much a first AD. But let's get a little bit more in depth. So the first AD is a liaison from the director to the rest of the crew. All right, they are the logistics extraordinaire. So that's food that's being provided. Company where the lenses are coming from. They plan pretty much the call sheet, what time they're going to start shooting. They have a schedule based upon the budget, based upon when the shooting is supposed to be completed. They are critically important for a film set, all right? First AD, it has to be somebody who can plan and coordinate, who doesn't get easily rattled, who can stick to a plan, who's fair but firm. First AD will make your production that much more smoother. So first assistant director. All right, so this next position is very, very important. And as you're starting to learn, each position is connected to some other position in a way. So we're going to get into the camera operator or cameraman, all right? So what are they? They are the person that knows their equipment, the camera, the type of system, everything involved with that recording system. They know the ins and outs. They know how to get the aperture, shutter speed, shutter angle, ISO, anything that you need, picture profiles. They are the subject matter experts of that camera. All right. You have some director of photographers. You have some DPs that are actually great camera operators before they became a DP. You have Roger Deakins. He loves to hold his Arri Alexa Mini on set. All right. But, all right, let's bring it back. A camera operator is not a director of photography, all right? I see a lot of times you see people holding a camera or steady cam, and don't get me wrong, I'm not diminishing their position. I'm not, because those guys are skilled camera operators, are like a master gunslinger when it comes to their camera. Anything that needs to be fixed, they fix it on the spot. You never would have known that anything was wrong because they know their cameras that much better than you do. But what I'm saying is, if you are operating the camera, that does not generally define you as a DP. Remember, a director of photography is responsible for the look and the feel of the film, okay? A camera operator assists the director of photography in bringing that out. I think that get mashed up a little time when you hear people say DP. A DP is just not the guy who's holding the camera. All right, a camera operator is not always the DP, but a camera operator is vital. If you have a guy that don't know how to use the equipment and you're on a budget and on a timetable, which is being headed by that producer and that first AD, first sergeant barking at you, and primarily the director, then you're gonna have a pretty long day. All right, so yeah, camera operator. This next position, all right, it'll be the final position. I could have went a little bit more in depth. There are so many positions in the film industry or a film crew or on set. But I think it's the heart and soul of a set, and it is the production assistant, the PA, have you. Now, what is a PA? All right, the PA is the person that's at the bottom of the rung when it comes to the ladder of the film industry, right? For instance, I'm going to school now for digital cinematography. If I wanted to go on some set here that's known, I would most likely be a PA. All right. It's not a diminishing position. It's not a position to be ashamed of because it gets your foot in the door. But a PA is pretty much, I'll say, the assistant for every position on set. If the DP needs a certain type of CTE, if the gaffer needs a certain type of electrical cord, if the director needs coffee, if the producer needs coffee, if the crew needs anything, if that first AD needs something, then 9 times out of 10, he knows that PA religiously. The PA is the personal assistant. In this industry, as a PA, you probably want to learn a little bit about each position because it's highly competitive and any little mistake can get you out of there. Perfect example, I had an instructor when I was going to the Los Angeles Film School that said that DP told PA to go give me 1/4 inch CTE, right? So the PA go and gets the CTE, brings it to the director. The 1/4 inch didn't work, but the director says, hey, give me the half CTE. The PA looks up at the director and says, well, you didn't tell me to do that. She fired him on the spot, brought in another PA. So this industry can be a bit cutthroat, but the PA, the production assistant, is the heart and soul of a set, in my opinion. All right, shouldn't be diminished. So that's just a couple of positions that I just wanted to kind of explain that goes on and everything that goes on a film set. And if you really want to think about it, a film set has a hierarchy, like a ranking system, PA is at the bottom, director is at the top, but we know that the producer is the one ultimately at the top. So I hope this video was informative to give you just a couple of positions, key positions that I thought would be necessary to help you give a better understanding of a film set. Once again, it's your boy Ty Talks. I'm on to the next one. I'm out.